Mascarpone is one of those cheeses that sounds fancy, costs a fortune, and takes exactly 10 minutes to make at home with just 2 ingredients. If you've been buying little tubs of it at the store every time a recipe calls for it, this is going to be a little bit annoying in a good way. Because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to make delicious mascarpone from scratch, plus how to use it in a fruity version of tiramisu, which is absolutely divine. I've added the recipe and all the notes to the Milkslinger recipe collection. The link is below. For mascarpone, all you need is lemon and cream. To start, heat the cream to a simmer, about 190 degrees Fahrenheit. I typically use fresh, unprocessed cream from our cows. Once the cream comes to temp, add the lemon juice and stir briefly. The mixture will become mildly curdled if you are using raw cream, and it will thicken ever so slightly so you can run your finger over the back of the spoon and leave a trail. Let the mixture simmer for 3 minutes. Do not whisk while simmering. I have experimented with whisking and not whisking, and mascarpone that has not been whisked makes a firmer, more dense cheese in a good way. And then you just pour the cream into a cheesecloth lined colander. You'll need several layers of cloth because you don't want all the mixture to just run through. And then you cover the liquid with plastic wrap so a skin doesn't form, and pop it in the fridge. And that's it. That right there is mascarpone. 10 minutes, 2 ingredients. I told you it was easy. Now we've got to wait to let it drain and firm up overnight. This is all wet. This absorbs a lot of the moisture. Look, it's so stiff. I'm going to weigh this as I do it. I guess I should use a spatula. So this is 10 ounces exactly. It makes a little under 2 cups. Now there are parts that are a little thicker because they were closer to the edge. This bit right here is a little drier and tougher. And then there's some wetter parts that were more in the middle, which is totally fine. You just stir it up. It's very smooth and fresh. There's like a light fruitiness to it, but it doesn't taste like lemon. It's just like very, very, very dense cream, because that's what it is. It's very good. This will only last a couple days in the fridge because it is not salted, maybe 3 or 4 days. So you want to plan to use it up. I do not know how much this costs in the store because I went to the store yesterday to try to find it and there was none, which is even worse. Like in my regular grocery store, you can't buy it. That's why you want to make your own. It's either expensive or you can't find it. Now I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to use homemade mascarpone. But first, I can feel you screaming questions. Do I have to use lemon juice? What about citric acid? Can I use vinegar? Okay, settle down. You are right to shout at me because when it comes to what type of acid to use, you have options. Many people use citric acid. For 2 cups of cream, it's 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid dissolved in about a tablespoon of water, and then you proceed with the recipe as normal. Taste neutral. Some people use white vinegar, about 1 to 2 tablespoons per every 2 cups of cream. Same process. This is drippy wet the whole way out to the edges. No flavor of the vinegar. It's actually really nice. A little bit granulated, but it doesn't taste granulated. This one was draining for quite some time. It's a mascarpone taco. But traditional mascarpone is made with something that many home cooks have never heard of: tartaric acid. Now, before you freak out about a weird word, tartaric acid is just a naturally organic acid that occurs in fruits like bananas, grapes, and avocados. It's similar to citric acid, but it's more sour and clean tasting, while citric acid is more bright and tangy and may impart a little bit of a lemon flavor. And just for good measure, I'm going to show you how to make it with heavy whipping cream from the store. The kind I use is ultra pasteurized and it behaves just fine. So even if you don't have a cow out back, you'll have no excuse not to make it. And you'll believe me when I say this is easy and anybody can make it with whatever you have. This is dry. Ooh, that looks creamy. It also looks wet. That's lighter tasting than raw cream. Doesn't have much flavor. I taste lemon, just lightly. It's not bad. Here are all the tests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lemon, tartaric acid, vinegar, citric acid, and then pasteurized cream, store-bought with lemon. So I'm just gonna taste these and tell you what I think. Lemon and raw cream. This one is fairly thick. I do taste a little bit of lemon. Very light, very nice, beautiful. Now for the tartaric. Tartaric, very neutral. This one's the thickest. I think I'll let this one drain longer. Very neutral, maybe slight vinegar tang. Just changing my fingers, just so you know. This one is the loosest one so far. No flavor. Oh, this one's really nice and creamy. Definitely tastes like lemon and is definitely the smoothest, which I think is a result of this being homogenized and these not being, these are raw. They're all really, really good because they're unpasteurized, they're fresh, unprocessed milk. They have a little bit more of a depth of flavor to them, like a little, not farmy, but like, this is very clean. It cuts straight through. There's no extra stuff. There's a little bit of extra stuff with this, which is fine. Just saying what I taste. Look at this, it's like having butter basically, but it's a cheese. So which kind of acid can you use? My final verdict is it doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want, whatever is easiest for you. Tartaric acid maybe is the more official one. It's not worth spending extra money for that. Lemon works if you don't mind a slight lemon flavor, but it's so light, it's not gonna compete with anything else. Like, you're fine. As I am scooping these up, I am noticing that the vinegar one is drier and harder and tackier. It's fine, it's smooth, but there's something about that texture that reminds me of that gumminess. It's not as creamy and soft as the other ones. It's still totally fine. It's just a different texture. Now, there are 100 ways that you can use mascarpone, but the place where it really shows off is in a tiramisu, specifically a fruity one. And before you tell me that's not traditional, I know. Just trust me, okay? So to make this fruity tiramisu, beat 2 cups of heavy cream, and then you set it aside, and now in that same dirty bowl, you're gonna put the pound of mascarpone, a teaspoon of vanilla, and set that aside. In a double boiler situation, you're gonna have 4 egg yolks and 3/4 cup of sugar, and you heat that to 140 degrees, whisking steadily, and then cooling at room temp. Basically, you're just heating it enough to cook the egg yolks and dissolve the sugar. Then you whisk in the egg mixture, fold in the whipped cream, set it aside. That is your base. That is amazing stuff. Now these cookies, you're supposed to use ladyfingers for tiramisu, but I don't agree. That's expensive, it's hard to get, you have to make them. Don't bother with that, just get pan dulce, the kind that comes in a pack. It's a little bit stale, it's dry. It's perfect for soaking up this cream and milk mixture and making a nice cakey texture to your fruity tiramisu. Another option is to use Maria cookies. You can use Biscoff, you can use, I don't know, sponge cake, like do whatever you want. In a separate bowl, you're gonna mix 1 cup of milk, a 1/2 cup of cream, a teaspoon of vanilla, a little bit of lemon zest, a tablespoon of sugar, and that's where you're gonna dip your cookies. And then you're just gonna layer it. Dip the cookies or the pan dulce into the milk mixture, put it in the bottom of the bowl, 1/2 of the cream mixture, layer your fruit of whatever kind. I like red raspberry, then another layer of soaked cookies, another layer of cream. Then you let it sit overnight, make sure you have plastic over the top, and then you grind up freeze-dried strawberries and sift that over top. And there you have your fruity tiramisu, and everybody is gonna love you. I've added the tiramisu to the Milkslinger recipe collection as a little bonus, so links below. Now you have just made one of the richest, most indulgent cheeses. So here's a question. What if you can make a cheese with a very similar creamy texture and decadent flavor, but with a fraction of the cream? That video is next, so I'll see you there, and happy milk slinging.